Hi friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan, and I couldn't watch Sam Darnold throw any more picks to the Pats anymore. Clearly this was not a very well scheduled Monday Night Football game. So instead I decided to sit down and take a look at the final trailer for the new Star Wars Episode 9 Rise of Skywalker. Now, almost a year ago, we predicted that Palpatine would be back in Episode 9. Before we had any trailers, before we probably even knew what the movie is called. I don't remember. My reasoning was after RJ killed Snoke, JJ had to figure out a way to make a bad guy worth ending the franchise on. The only thing that made sense was reintroducing Palpatine, who, as we know in Legends, has come back by using a Force essence transfer into clone bodies. Didn't work great. The bodies kept on decaying and stuff, but it was better than being an extremely angry and malevolent void in the sky above Endor, which is basically what he was while he was waiting to be transferred into a clone body. This is Legends material. Now, we hear Palpatine laugh and talk at the end of the other trailers, and this time we kinda see someone who looks just like him at the end of this one. And it really makes sense having Palpatine come back because if you think about it, besides the Skywalker family, this is also a story of Palpatine. He's in the prequels, he does a great job there, does a great job in the old trilogy, and he has to kind of appear at the final reunion too. So I like this move. The scene we see him in seems to take place near the ruins of the Death Star. It could be in the old Death Star command room, or it could be this new throne looking thing we've just seen. If you look at where Rey's standing, the floor is completely smooth, and in the scenes of the throne room, clearly the floor is damaged, so most likely it's not the original throne room from the second Death Star. Today I want to determine which Death Star is going to be in this new movie and which planet it's going to be on. I'll let you guys know what I think, and then I'd love to hear your opinions, comments, or we could just talk about how terrible the Jets are this year. Either way, we're cool. Okay, so right away, everyone is most likely thinking Death Star 2 on Endor, right? But let's play devil's advocate and talk about Death Star 1 over Yavin 4. See, both Death Stars were destroyed from a reactor core explosion of some sort. This means the internal areas, which are several miles away from the surface of the Death Star, would have probably evaporated and expanded out, leaving large sections of the exterior of the battle station intact. So either explosion could have definitely left this identifiable giant focusing dish intact as well. From a size point though, the dish is quite undersized in this shot and probably smaller in size than the first Death Star was. But of course, filmmakers aren't always going to go crazy trying to recreate realistically scaled things. They're more worried about how the shot looks, how it's composed, and so on. Now, the new footage from the final trailer clearly shows Rey in some very tropical jungle settings, which we've seen briefly in the previous trailer. This immediately makes me think of Yavin 4, but of course, Star Wars is full of different planet types, and it could be just another one of these newly created worlds specifically for the movie. Also, it's very likely that Rey is just training on a planet that the Resistance is hiding, and she later then travels to where the Death Star is, so it could be a completely different planet. More importantly, the scene from the first teaser clearly shows Rey and company walking up to the remains of the Death Star dish, standing on some open grassy plains, which of course is not a biome commonly found on Yavin 4, although there appears to be some bodies of water on Yavin 4. They are mostly shallow lakes and swampy areas, but from satellite photos there clearly are some oceans, and in Legends that is confirmed. However, there are no real savannas on the moon. Now, what does have savannas on its surface is the moon of Endor. Also, 8% of the surface of the moon is covered in water. But perhaps the most telltale sign that Endor is in fact what we are seeing in this video lies in what kind of ocean we're seeing. Look how choppy and extreme the waves are. Look at the jagged edges of the cliffs. These are signs of a planet that is suffering from serious geological disturbances, tidal imbalances, and earthquakes. Something that Endor has been prone to even before a massive space station crashed into the surface. We did an entire theory video about this and basically concluded that the destruction of the second Death Star did a massive amount of damage to the Ewoks and probably created worldwide forest fires, which most likely was probably covered up by the benevolent New Republic. Although it is mentioned that the rebellion used tractor beams and shields to protect the moon from most of the debris falling down. Most. Clearly some of the debris did make it down, or more likely it probably slowly deorbited in the next few decades and then slowly entered the atmosphere of the moon of Endor. This is also a key reason, by the way, why this most likely was not Yavin 4 or the first Death Star. Remember, when Luke destroys that space station, it has just barely cleared the gas giant of Yavin, and most likely the majority of the debris from that explosion would have missed Yavin 4. Another crucial piece of evidence that this is in fact the second Death Star is the shot of the throne room, side by side with shots from Episode 6, and it's pretty apparent that these are the same places. Just look at the window sections. So yeah, I think this is pretty much confirmed that Endor is going to show up along with the ruins of the second Death Star. Although it should be mentioned in Battlefront 2, in the Death Star 2 debris field map, you can see the reactor dish, and it looks nothing like what we see in the trailer. It's fragmented in a completely different way. But then again, I don't think that map is actually canon, or we could just be seeing the reactor dish before it plummets to the surface of the planet. How Palpatine will return is still up for debate, but you can check out our theories in the top right corner if you're interested. So there you have it, guys. That's my quick little theory. I'm pretty sure that we're going to be going to Endor, and we're going to be going to Palpatine because really he is the key to all of it, not Jar Jar Binks, although Jar Jar Binks is probably important as well. Maybe he'll show up. I don't know. Anyway, guys, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss out on the rest of our coverage of Rise of Skywalker. As usual, thanks for joining us today. If you're watching this, you are Generation Tech.